Very good evening to all my dear MOS members and the ophthalmic fraternity who have joined today for this very, very interesting and the most required thing for a general practitioner, a general ophthalmologist, especially an individual practitioner starting an individual practice anywhere in Maharashtra or all over India. So this is regarding advocacy with the government. We have with us ex-Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament and Padma Shri, Dr. Vikas Mahatme sir. Yeah, is an ophthalmologist par excellence, the senior most ophthalmologist. We have with us the mentor and the advisor of the renowned H.V. Desai Hospital Groups in Pune, Colonel Madan Deshpande sir. Then we also have with us Dr. Padma Jogewar. She is the joint director of NCD Cell and an ophthalmologist par excellence. So we have three panelists, and we have an expert moderator, the young and dynamic Dr. Pooja Mehta, who is going to introduce all the speakers and moderate this session. With us, I have the backbone of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, my honorary secretary, Dr. Rajesh Joshi, also as the panelist, and he is always there with me. So, friends, as I just said, today I requested Mahatme sir to give us an idea about the government regulations and the guidelines for an individual practitioner. So he readily agreed. Colonel Madan Deshpande said that I am definitely going to be part of the panel discussion, and Jogewar madam also readily agreed. So we are going to have a really interesting a panel discussion throughout for the next 1 hour. Now, for the formal introduction, I'll hand over the session to Dr. Pooja Mehta, who is going to introduce her speaker. Sir is going to speak, and following that, we'll have introduction of Colonel Madan Deshpande, sir, Dr. Padma Jogewar, madam, and then we have the detailed and a fine interactive panel discussion. Over to you, Dr. Pooja, and welcome all of you. Mahatme, sir, Colonel Deshpande, sir, and Jogewar, madam.
Thank you
A
so
warm
much.
welcome to you.
Thank
A very
you
happy Independence, a very happy Independence Day to all my august audience and the panelists and those who have joined on the Facebook and the YouTube and on the web. Thank you. Over to you, Pooja.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jignesh, and wishing you all a very happy independence. It's my honor to introduce the director of the Mahatma Eye Institute, a Padma Shri awarded Indian ophthalmologist, social entrepreneur, visionary member of parliament, Dr. Vikas Mahatme. He has also received the prestigious Culinary Rangachari National Award at the AIOS. He has developed many different techniques for performing various cataract surgeries. He is an eminent leader of the Dhangar community and constantly works on their platforms in Maharashtra. Dr. Mahatme has been instrumental in shaping the career of so many young ophthalmologists, along with working with various nomadic tribes. Dr. Mahatme is also a part of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Health and Welfare, Family Welfare, Consultative Committee on Railway Welfare of OBC, and the Indian Nursing Council. Over to you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Pooja. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes. Very nicely.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Very, very happy Independence Day. We have the 76th has already been conveyed by Colonel Deshpande sir. 76th Independence Day, as well as we have Amrut Mahotsav, and we are celebrating that. And I am very happy that MOS and Dr. Jignesh Taswala has organized this on this evening. So let us take the advantage of this, because there are many challenges with the government when you start practice, and it's a good topic that has been covered here. Government regulations and guidelines for individual medical practitioners. The other panelists present, as Dr. Taswala is already there, Colonel Deshpande sir will be there, is already here. Then Dr. Padmaja Jogewar, I think I shall be seeing her on screen after some time. Then Dr. Pooja and so many others present. Rajesh Joshi is also there, and I acknowledge his presence, and he will be also able to give some inputs on this. Friends, there are many challenges that we all know. The National Medical Commission is now formed because the Indian Medical Council has been dissolved and now we have a National Medical Commission. It has already drafted rules and regulations, but they are not passed yet. The rules and regulations are there and they are quite in detail. If somebody wants to go through it, that is better because most of the states will follow these rules and regulations afterwards. But what in general, how the certificate should be, how the consent form should be, has already been posted there in detail. So it's not as in previously that you should have a consent form or you should have a certificate, a health certificate. That already they have samples there and everybody can go through it. So that is the guideline, but they are not yet officially released the rules and regulations. They will be released. Then we have Clinical Establishment Act 2010. But I tell you, Maharashtra government has not acted on that, and there is no Clinical Establishment Act in Maharashtra state. Draft Clinical Establishment Act is there, but it has not been passed. But still, these are the guidelines because this may come in future, so we have to be prepared for that mentally. Then, which rules and regulations will follow when you start a practice? If you have some staff, which is about 10 members, then automatically Maharashtra Shops and Establishment Act will take. You will have to follow that Maharashtra State Shops and Establishment Act, and you need a certificate of that. That has to be posted on in your clinic. As far as registration of the hospital, you can register it as a clinic, as a daycare center. Previously, this facility was not there in many corporations, but now it is there because previously there was no concept like daycare center long time back. But gradually, every corporation now has accepted daycare center. So you can register it as a clinic, as a daycare center, or hospitals, and rules and regulations should be different for each category. Then the rules which are strictly followed are biomedical waste disposal. The State Pollution Control Board handles this, and they have many rules and regulations for the same. And they, of course, the corporation and other people will be able to tell much about it, how to dispose of the biomedical waste. Then, of course, how the consent and everything should be there as far as the patients are concerned. Fire safety is always there. PCPNDT Act, we may feel that it may not be applicable to ophthalmologists, but those who are using D-scan, they have to register under this act. And it's a very strict act, so it is better follow all the norms which are there. Otherwise, unnecessarily, if somebody wants to harass, they may be behind you. We all know that this cannot be used for gender detection or sex detection, they say, but it is better to say gender detection. But still, whatever rules are there, we have to follow as far as PCPNDT Act is concerned. So, friends, there are so many acts. I will not go in details of each. There are like the narcotic drugs, and if you have to put in operation theater, then you need certain other certifications. Then if you have advertisement, then there are rules and regulations for the advertisement. Then the confidentiality of report is there. Even usage of spirit, previously we had to take the permission from the government. So many rules and other rules and regulations are there. Like, but I will not go in details of it. But the challenge is how and why we should face these challenges. That is very important. Because if we are reluctant, we may have to have many problems after. We may have to face many problems afterwards. What I feel is that together, if we are together, like MOS or like IMA or any other body, if we are together, then it becomes easy. And how should we go ahead? That also I shall like to I shall put my ideas so that you can also so that we can have a discussion over it also. Like ethics in practice. I am very much for ethics in practice, and really speaking, I am for ethical politics also, which I call it as even Acharya means I follow Acharya Vinoba Bhaveji, what he calls it, Naitik Lokaniti. So, being a ethical politician, I am a low profile politician, but still I feel that is the way to go ahead, because that will create peace in the India, not only in India, whole world. So ethics and practice is very important. The corporate hospital, suppose how and why everybody becomes little bit non-ethical when the challenges are there. Like I tell you, if there is a corporate hospital and they employ the new consultants and they usually want some they have good skills, but unless and until they use it repeatedly, they may forget this skill. So what happens? They usually join corporate hospitals, and once they join the corporate hospitals, they give them the target that you have to achieve such a, as well as financial targets. So you must procure this much revenue, and if they are not able to procure that revenue, they will be out of the hospital. So what happens? Ultimately, when the patient number is less, if he cannot achieve the financial target, whatever he has been offered, then what happens? He will like to advise little bit marginally, he will cross and he will like to advise surgeries or investigation, something like that. So we individually, he is not able to fight. We as a MOS or as IMA member, we have to collectively fight that no, this is not legal, this is unethical, and we will not. What happens if you say that this is unethical and take a press conference and put your views that we will not allow these corporate hospitals are giving financial targets? Everybody, people will be with you, and what will happen? Today, the most important danger or challenge for a doctor is patient-doctor relationship. The trust deficit is there in patient-doctor relationship. Trust deficit is there. It is increasing day by day, and we have to act proactively. And if we take steps like this, not individually but collectively, by MOS or IMA, that okay, we will say that these corporate hospitals are giving financial targets and this is unethical, this should be stopped. Every newspaper will be ready to accept that, and automatically all corporate hospitals will say, no, we will not give the financial targets. So this way we have to act collectively, so that gradually the environment is like that everybody has to be little bit unethical to survive. That should not be the environment. We have to create an environment. As a senior person, I am also part of it. So we have to create an environment that ethical practice will be followed more and more. So this can happen through the organizations, and I personally feel that there should be some system of facilitation in our organization, that okay, those who want to start practice, they will be offered some consultation, and as well as the process will be facilitated. Whatever certification they need, that process will be facilitated. If it is through organization, the government officers usually will like to follow. They also will follow the time principle, the time bound it becomes, and they also will not like to cross or demand something out of it. So this facilitation center should be a part of organization. And this, even you can hire some people because these people will be paid by the person who needs consultation and facilitation of the process of getting registration, municipal corporation registration, or so many other registrations, or so many other things. Then what will happen? The cost not only financial but other costs repeatedly going to the government offices is very tough job, especially in your initial period of practice. So I feel the organization should take this as their we are part of means we also want youngsters to be part of our team, so we should take it that. Then of course advocacy group should be always there. I don't know why we don't have an advocacy group as a part, ethical group as a part of any organization, because without that the organization will not be able to grow, because there are always challenges with the government, and those who are MLAs or doctor MLAs or MPs, you can make them as an advisor in advocacy group or as an advisor, so that what will happen, they will be in touch with doctors. And I've seen that the firms, even the manufacturers of medicines and other, they make a lobbying to the ministry, means not the minister exactly, but the ministry. So what they do during parliament, they will have a dinner meeting. They will call the member of parliament. They will give their presentation, what challenges they are facing. So member of parliaments are aware of their challenges, and then you may put up whenever time is there or whenever the subject arises. So this is a process that must be followed, and we will say no, we don't want politicians, they are not this way, or they are not ethically that much strong as compared to a professional. But I personally feel that politicians are necessary for policy change, and they should be made aware about our problems, like atrocities on doctors. We say nobody raised the question, or they usually will always say, all the politicians most of the time will always say that exorbitant consultation fees are there of the doctors and surgical fee. But once lobbying is there, lobbying is allowed officially, legally. Lobbying means what? Our views are put forth, and then the MPs may accept or may not accept. That is another thing. But mostly when you put your views, they listen to that, and then they understand our problems. That is very, very important. And if we do not do this, usually in all parliamentary meetings, mostly whenever somebody speaks on health services, public health also, they will say that the charges and fees of doctors are exorbitant. But I tell you, if you give them statistics, it is not the doctor's fee. It is the investigation, it is the medicine, which is costing very high, not the doctor's fee. But the perception is different. Why? Because perception is given by the newspapers, perception is by the patients. वो बहुत महंगा हो गया, उसकी तो कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा हो गई, इतने पैसे लिए. But what for that money was? Even I can tell you that 5-star hotels will be more costlier than our hospital stay. So we should make them aware. So advocacy is very important, and many doctors are MLAs, many doctors are member of parliament, and you can ask them you can call them, ask them to bring their friends along with that. So everybody becomes sensitive to our challenges. So ethical part, advocacy group, and one group which I always say should be part of any organization, medical organization, that is preventive and social medicine or community health. We are doing very good work as far as community is concerned. This may not be necessary for USA because their population is very less as compared to what Indian population is there. So we have to serve to many people. So we should have that also. And prevention. How many of you got vaccinated for say pneumococcal or hepatitis B or flu? I can tell you 5% of doctors only get vaccinated. But deaths due to pneumococcal infections are very common. That's means in day-to-day life we are losing so many days because of flu. So many other diseases, hepatitis B and so many other diseases are very common. So we do not get vaccinated because there is nobody who will work for prevention. So similarly, we should have one committee for preventive and social aspect. Like myopia can be prevented if the screen time is less, or can be reduced at least during the early age. So many other things, screen treatment, or so many other things can be done by prevention. So these were my suggestions as a body, and so many things I think most of the things I have covered, but still atrocities on doctors is also a major challenge, and that trust relationship is a major problem for that. And secondly, emergencies. I raised this issue in Rajya Sabha many times and told it is detrimental for public health also, for the people also, because nobody will like to work in public hospitals. So what we are doing, we are losing good doctors. So seriously, politicians should look at it. It's not that doctors only are the sufferers. Ultimately, people are the sufferers whenever there is an atrocity on a doctor. That we must understand. So how we convince them is very important. And fortunately, during epidemic, there was a law which was non-cognizable offense all over India. But it was again for 1 or 2 years only. So now it's not there. So we will have to think of having a law for that. So these are my views, and of course, you can fire any questions you like. I may answer or I may not. But we have very good panelists here. Hopefully, we will have good discussions. And thank you, Jignesh, Dr. Jignesh, for giving me an opportunity to be part of this panel. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us the guidelines, sir. Very nicely placed. In spite of being a state subject, you are the central ministry as a ex-Rajya Sabha MP. You have really given a good overview of what all needs to be had by any of the organization and by the individual practitioner. Now we'll open it for discussion. One question which I have for the panelists, Dr. Jogewar is also part of the state health, so she must be also aware. As an individual practitioner, once he starts his practice, what are the regulatory this thing they are supposed to follow? That they should not have, they should have hassle-free practice. It's open to everybody. Anybody can answer. Madam, you can start first. So sir will get a little rest as he has spoken already.
Yeah. Good evening all, and I wish you all the happy Independence Day. 76 Happy Independence Day to all. All my respected sir, Padma Shri, Honorable Padma Shri Mahatme sir, Dr. Jagdish sir, Dr. Colonel Deshpande sir, and Rajesh Joshi sir. So thank you for the inviting me. So for the establishment of clinics in private hospital, it's registered under the Bombay Nursing Home Act. Maharashtra does not follow the Clinic Establishment Act. So Maharashtra does not implement that. In Maharashtra, the Clinical Establishment Act has not established. We follow the Bombay Nursing Homes. Under that act, they must have registered their hospital. Just now, the Mahatme sir says that clinic, daycare facility, or in indoor facility according to them, and in which locality they are. If they are in the corporation area, they have to register in corporation. And if they are in the rural area, the rural areas is registration from the DHO sites. And if in the Nagar Parishad area, the civil surgeon is responsible for the registrations.
Okay. And
and when
regarding the,
BMW is
yeah,
necessary, fire audit is necessary for the everyone. For the clinical, BMW is also for even camp. The BMW guidelines must be followed. They must have the BMW registration there, and yes, sir. And fire audit, fire safety act is also applicable to all.
what is the approach for all this, madam? Are we going to go, suppose I am in the city area, in the PMC area, like Pune Municipal Corporation, who must the individual practitioner go to approach for all this? Is it only at one point contact, one window, or you have to go to different departments and file your
Yeah, sir.
this applications
Yes, sir.
to get the agreement?
For the registration, you went to health department, but you need the NOCs for the BMW certification for the BMW and fire safety audit from the Nagar Parishad, corporation area people.
Okay, very
Fire
nice, madam.
department.
Yeah. Colonel Deshpande, sir, that now that you have been part of a big hospital, as the institutional setup, people who want to start a hospital rather than just an individual clinic, what are your suggestions, add-ons, sir?
Thank you for arranging this advocacy sort of discussion. I'm really happy to see Dr. Mahatme, sir, and Madam Jogewar and Rajendra Joshi and all. So this is a good thing, but all depends upon, I think, we should have a little larger perspective than individual. Everyone should stand for two things. One, individual, as you're rightly discussing. Second is the need of the society, eye care need of the society. And to satisfy the eye care need of society at a rural level, at an urban level, at a sub-PSC level, we have to plan in those gaps. We have to find out the gaps. And these gaps should be stressed, should be removed. But that is not being done. Secondly, whatever planning is, health is a state matter. Entirely state decides what is to be done and not. And unfortunately, like in central government, the chief of RP Center is advisor to eye health matters to Government of India. Similarly, we should have a small body consisting of some government people as well as the private people. And they should be able to advise regarding the need, regarding the sort of different sort of advocacy issues, and these laws can be framed. Now you'll find that there are various things that need to be educated to appraise. I would like to use the word appraise to government, to NGOs, to INGOs, because costing has definitely changed. Cost of the eye care procedure, surgery, even the diagnosis has changed in view of a lot of equipment that are coming. Secondly, a lot of responsibility has been imposed upon the practitioners because they need not have gaps and they can have fear of being sued. So for maintaining the quality and excellence which is required from every individual practitioner as well as the group practitioners and the corporate hospitals or NGO hospitals. So this thing has increased the cost of healthcare, eye healthcare. So that has to be thought of whenever government wants to give some sort of a health or what you can call it, some grant. So this needs to be thought, because whatever cost we had in mind about the cataract surgery and all, this dismal cost we used to give, that is not there. Secondly, there's a lot of disparity within states. Some states, they have got enough money for the eye care, whereas government of Maharashtra does not have much funds to be issued. Of course, this Mahatma Phule, there's been a great help for the specialty eye care, but basic cataract that needs to be satisfied. So perception changes. And these changing perceptions, we need to have a committee which should have a sort of a duration of 5 years. And each year people can change in that. But so there should be consistency will be there to sort of appraise the government regarding the changes that are required. And secondly, the needs that are required to see the eye health care of the state as well. And secondly, to protect the individual practitioner in a manner so that they can go on giving fearless, good eye care services.
Jogewar ma'am, a question to you as the state level and health being the state subject. Is entry-level NABH required for an individual practitioner? Is it mandatory or it is optional?
No, sir. There is no need of NABH accreditation, sir.
Entry-level accreditation is not required. And regarding what we say, we have already submitted last year itself to the government of Maharashtra for a daycare center status for the ophthalmologist. The whole draft has been submitted by Dr. Lahane sir, Padmashri Lahane sir, to the Secretary Health Department there. And we had a nice talk with Dr. Rajesh Tope also during the POS Spectrum conference. So can you update us what is the status and when are we going to get that thing done?
So I'm not getting that. I have not get that proposal, sir.
Madam, आता Bombay Nursing Home आहे ना आपल्याकडे. At the moment ती लागू आहे. Instead of that, we have asked for a daycare center status. The way Delhi Ophthalmic Society has already got its sanction. Because it's a state subject, central cannot do anything. So we have applied to the state secretary, health secretary, asking for daycare center status. Bombay, where there are a lot of minus points of the nursing home which are not eligible for us, and unnecessary it has been dumped on the ophthalmologist, general ophthalmologist here. So Dr. Lahane has already submitted whole memorandum to the health secretary. Are you aware of it, and what is the status? If you can help us on that.
Sir, I am not aware of this, sir.
I would like to add one point here,
Yeah.
that we should not have a strict daycare and bed sort of a thing. It has to be mixed also. Because in a hospital setup where there will be requirement of beds and also daycare.
Correct.
Because in a big NGO hospital, for that matter, in a corporate hospital, there will be some beds which will be daycare, like cataract and all. Others who will compulsorily need a bed because you are doing a procedure under GA. That would need that requirement. Then there are certain insurances which insist on having 1 day stay. So that needs to be amended also. If you want to make daycare, but also go to insurances people and say this is not required. Whatever you want to give it, and there should not be mandatory sort of requirement of admitting person and staying them for a day, giving them a room. So all those things, it needs to be overall gap analysis has to be done.
Sir, it has already been done.
Not
Last 1 year, we had a daycare committee formed. Dr. Kuresh Maskati was heading it. Mandar Paranjpe, Parikshit Gopte, and everybody had prepared a nice memorandum submitted to Dr. Lahane. He had gone through all this. Your points are also covered in the institutional part and the individual practitioner, and both we have submitted it accordingly. It's a mix and match.
You have to change the norms of the insurance also. Even Mahatma Phule Yojana also, if you insist on admitting the patient, that also has to be changed.
Sir, at least all the government insurance companies are at the moment not insisting for overnight stay for ophthalm.
We have to check up and see.
I shall add one thing to this.
Sir, bola.
Yes. One thing is that the most important is in any government setup, even for registration to whatever lobbying for this daycare center or ophthalmic setup, separate rules. We need a follow-up. It's not a one-day job that you meet once and that the things happen. Sir, Colonel Deshpande sir always say, what is management? Management is follow. That is in private sector, what he is saying. In government sector, I shall say you require follow 3-4 times more than private sector. So we need an advocacy committee, which will complete. And secondly, it is not only the health minister, it is the MLAs also. So Dr. MLAs are there. We need to have some communication whenever there is a Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Parishad is going on, session is going on. During that period, we should have communication with all this and invite them. So what happens? They raise the issue and they take this point up. Otherwise, for us, it becomes difficult. And secondly, it's not a one-time job at all, because they have their own priorities. There was really much work to be done. And so this becomes not a priority subject. So we have to have an advocacy group. We have to have a follow-up. That is very important. Just one more question to Dr. Sugivar and Dr. Colonel Deshpande. Anybody can say on this. Whether for the camps there are rules and regulations, advisory notes are there. Whether HIV or Australian antigen is necessary for camp patients nowadays, I do not know.
Yogivar madam first.
Yeah. Camp for the camp patient, there is regulation is that you have to take the permission from that concerned district's civil surgeon for conducting the camp. DHO, not the civil surgeon is responsible for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to take the permission from the civil surgeon for the holding any camp, for the any diagnostic camp. So, and if you want, yes sir, and if you want, sir, for the operation, cataract operation, glaucoma patients, if you are shifting to your hospital, NGO hospital, even private hospital, they must sign the MOU if they want the money from the government schemes. If they want the money from the schemes, otherwise there is no need, sir.
Okay. Rajesh Joshi is there. Just I want to ask him, whether in the government institutions, are you doing this HIV Australia antigen for pre-patients also?
Yes, sir. We are routinely doing this HIV antigen as well as HIV testing.
Even hepatitis, it will be covered.
Hepatitis and everything.
Yeah, everything.
But there is an important question from the audience. I'll just put it out.
Yes.
When can ophthalmic setups be declared as daycare centers so as to decrease Bombay nursing home registration renewal? Can we have single window clearance for hospital registrations renewal, fire audit renewal, biomedical waste renewal, or professional tax? Is it split license renewal and so on and so forth? Sir,
yeah, I think. Yes, Pooja, very nicely asked. I think I had put up the same question now a few minutes before to Yogivar madam regarding, but she is not updated with it. She's not aware.
It cannot be a single window because there are different agencies to give
different departments.
Sir, because they are saying that it should be, the charges should be uniform as per the grade of the city and town or as per the number of beds that the hospital is registered in. Apparently, they undergo a lot of harassment every year when they have to go for renewal because every year the amount and everything keeps changing. So is there any solution to this or how do you go about with it?
Yogivar madam first. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a fixed amount according to city, A, B, C category wise. The fixed amount is there, and there are the different windows for the hospital registration, fire safety, and biomedical waste. All certificate you have to gather and then apply to for the hospital. Fire safety registration आपको लेना है sir. Every 6 monthly आपको NLC department से fire department से लेना पड़ता है. If you are from the Nagar Parishad area, you have to take the NOC from the Nagar Parishad. If you are from the municipal area, you have to take the from the municipal fire safety department. So
this is every 6 months, madam.
But ma'am, this renewal
Yes,
and these licenses are beneficial for you as a owner, right? Because it's going to save you from all issues, medico-legally and everything. So it's a harassment, but it's in your
not
favor.
the harassment, but there is a rule, no?
Yes.
You have to register your hospital. And the fee is equal according to the CT. There is no need of the extra payments.
I do.
Why is the frequency every 6 months, madam? Why isn't 1 or 2 years for all this?
The fire audit, they need the every 6 monthly NOC, no, sir. Once they did the audit, after that they give the NOC for the 6 months. The NOC of the fire is valid for the 6 months. The B form, every 6 monthly you have to renew, and hospital registration, I think 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
and
I would like to open a topic, different topic altogether, madam. We are only talking about the eye surgeons, but eye surgeons also require a team of optometrists, paramedicals. We do not have norms or the definition of optometrists. Some people want that there should be a graduate, some people want there should be a diploma, some people are agitating that there should not be a diploma. And against that, there is a central government's course is there, which gives a diploma after 10th. So this sort of an anomaly or this sort of a regulation has to be there because we do need people at a sub PSC level or PSC level. Optometrists, graduates don't go there. There's a manpower shortage is there of paramedicals. Secondly, people working in OT and all, we do not have any fixed training sort of a module or thing. And there has to be some sort of a regulation or a thought that that team of the doctor, what should be the training period, whether it should be held privately, should be held with the government, what should be the duration, what should be the grades. I think we have to think of the team also. And second point I would like to also think about is the advancements coming in the specialty like robotics or AI. We don't have any regulations how good they will be as against the law.
Madam Bola. Yogevar Madam.
Sir, in Maharashtra, sir, for the recruitment of ophthalmic officer in health public health department, sir, we have RR pattern. We change our RR for the ophthalmic officer. We only recruit the BSc optometrist, not the diploma holder. Yeah, in private we I think law मध्ये काही म्हटलं नाही प्रायव्हेट हॉस्पिटल रजिस्ट्रेशन मध्ये की तुमच्याकडे ऑप्टोमेट्रिस्ट डिप्लोमा पाहिजे का डिग्री पाहिजे. फक्त आम्ही आमच्या गव्हर्नमेंट सेक्टर मध्ये कोणाला घ्यायचं असेल तर आम्ही ऑप्टोमेट्रिस्ट बीएससी ऑप्टोमेट्रिस्टला घेतो. बीएससी एमएससी जे काय असेल. आता पहिली होतं सर 10th नंतरचा डिप्लोमा करायचे आणि आम्ही घ्यायचं. ते बंद झालं सर 2018 नंतर आम्ही चेंज केलंय. पण हे गव्हर्नमेंटच्या साठी आहे फक्त, नॉट फॉर द प्रायव्हेट सर.
Private even the 10th will do.
That is so. How do you satisfy the need? Because need is huge. And we do आपल्याकडे तेवढे optometrists नाही आहेत.
नाही पण आता जे आमच्याकडची वॅकन्सी बरीपैकी क्लिअर झाली. आतापर्यंत नव्हती, आम्हाला मिळत नव्हते तर बीएससीचे. पण नाव द वॅकन्सी इज फुल. आता कॉलेजेस आले आहे सर, तर नेक्स्ट याच्यामध्ये होणार नाही असं मला वाटतं. मध्ये नव्हते त्याच्यामुळे थोडी क्रंच होता.
Yes, I
काय विचारतात? हा मॅडम सर बोला सर. सर बातम्या सर.
What Colonel Deshpande sir has asked is a very important question. But now the government is going for uniform skill patterns, and the certification will be provided on the skills based. So they have technicians, some board. And with that, I think this problem will be solved. Otherwise, it's very difficult to solve. That everywhere in every state and every corporation or the rules are different for the technician. So that problem will be solved once it is a national type of skilling, level of skilling, and assessment is done at national level. That may be one thing. And secondly, I think most important question everybody wants to ask is, how can I get registration and renewal of registration quickly? That is very important, because in my experience, I tell you, I got my registration of my hospital on 31st March every year. Till that period, I used to go so many times, but it never used to happen. So many hurdles are there. And it takes a lot of time. What can be the solutions? That is also very important, because it's not just talking about all the challenges, because everybody knows about the challenges. The thing, what I feel, the organization should take up these issues at the local organizations of IMA, local bodies, of somebody should take up, because there are seniors and there are other people. Then for the government officers also, unnecessary harassment they cannot do, because it's an organization. Through that, application will be coming, and organization will follow it up. Of course, if anything means, if for that some monetary remuneration they should get, because the office staff will be required for that. But that is better. The challenges as far as finance is concerned is very less, but as far as time is concerned, I say time corruption is more, because if you delay it, it creates more problem for you. Because if your time is wasted in the offices, government offices, you will not be able to get time in the providing services to the patients. It's a national loss ultimately. So it's not necessary that the officers, he has to work in a time-bound fashion. But for that, we need an organization help, and that way we will be able to solve the problem. That is my feeling. But because this challenge is definitely there, everybody knows that it's very tough. There are so many windows you have to go. So the seniors, the process will be done through a agency which is an official part of an organization of doctors, and they will know the intricacies also. They will guide both the government officers as well as the consultant. Both because they are in constantly touch with each other. So that is my way, means that I feel should be a solution for this problem, and that is the most important problem everybody is facing.
Sir, as you had said, we are following up the daycare, this thing almost 8 times. Lahane sir has been in touch directly with the minister. At the Mr. Vyas is there. He is the secretary, plus other departments where the file has to go. So they have said that they promised that this time in the monsoon session of the assembly, they're going to take it up. So how true it is, we don't know. But we have been following it very closely. Almost every 1 month, sir is being in touch, because I also have been in touch. Last year we have submitted because of the bureaucratic hurdles. They could not do it in the March session. Now they're going to take it in the monsoon session. So hopefully the daycare part, if it goes in, a lot of problems for an individual practitioner goes. Mix and match what sir has suggested has already been put in for an institution. These are the laws they have to follow, and for an individual practitioner, this is what it is going to go at. But Jogevar madam, we would like, as you as the government representative, to help all the ophthalmologists all over Maharashtra. In this case, what Dr. Pooja Mehta also asked, the single window clearance, which will be very, very helpful for each and everybody. Like Dr. Mahatme sir also said, when he went to register, he has to go 10 places, and the things are still not done. There is a lot of man-hours lost in this. So you should help us in this, madam, as a government.
And the fees, and ma'am, the fees are also, people are saying that's too high, sir. It's exorbitant for renewing it every 2 years.
2 to 3 years, yeah.
Jogevar madam.
Sir, fee is not too high, sir, but you have to collect all the NOCs and then submit your proposal, detailed proposal, whatever the registration form you fill, and you submit it to the civil surgeon, DH or MOS at corporation area. After submission and you get the receipt, they must give the within the 3-month registration. They must give the registration within the 3 months, sir. If they are not giving you, no, the government, if एखाद्या वेळेला त्यांनी काही क्वेरी रेज केली किंवा काही केलं तरच ते आहे अदरवाईज ग्राह्य पकडलं जातं की 30 महिने झाले नाही मिळालं म्हणजे तुम्ही फॉर आहे रजिस्ट्रेशन साठी.
That means it is legal for us to continue even if you don't get it after 3 months. That is what you mean, madam?
Yeah, sir. They are the different level na sir registration ka. That's why. DHO is different. Corporation area MOS is different, sir. Different people from the different area, sir. That's why the hurdle is there. It depends on that person, sir.
नाही पण गव्हर्नमेंट काय लिमिट ठेवली आहे का within 3 months they are supposed to issue the hospital listing, otherwise they have to tell us where are we at fault.
जे ऍक्ट मध्येच आहे की तुम्ही अप्लिकेशन केल्यावर 3 months मध्ये त्यांनी रिस्पॉन्ड करायचंय तुम्हाला की तुमचं हॉस्पिटलला ओके असेल तर रजिस्ट्रेशन द्यायचे, नसेल काही ऑब्जेक्शन असेल तर तुम्हाला कळवायला पाहिजे, कम्युनिकेट करायला पाहिजे.
हो पण नाही तर 3 महिन्यानंतर आम्हाला दिलेही नाही आणि कळवलेलं नाही तर व्हॉट इज दी फर्दर
म्हणजे ऍक्सेप्टेड आहे गव्हर्नमेंटला की तुमचं हॉस्पिटल आहे, म्हणजे त्या पॉईंट वरती तुम्ही हे करू शकता. पण ऍक्च्युअली द्यायला हवं सर 3 months मध्ये त्यांनी तुम्हाला रजिस्ट्रेशन द्यायला हवं असं.
Okay, but if suppose they don't give, whom are we supposed to approach? Who are the higher authorities whom we can complain that these people are not helping us?
Hospital registration साठी sir, joint director hospital is responsible, sir. He is looking after for this hospital registration, sir.
Okay. So we have to approach the joint director that things are not working out.
Hospital.
They are holding our registration in spite of having all the clearances.
Yeah.
Right, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the higher authorities health services who can take care.
Directly you can complain to the director health services also.
I tell you the challenges in this. To make a complaint against a government officer for a private practitioner is a tough job. I tell you, you can arrest many other. So it has no meaning. Practically, you can talk here, but it has no meaning. I tell you, I have my personal experiences. What are the solutions? Let us talk about practical solution.
Practical
So
solution.
what is the practical solution? He is not complaining. Some organization is complaining. Then it becomes more easy because what happens? Organization says that this is then the individual will not be blamed and he will not be harassed, because we need some practical solution. Otherwise, on the theoretically all this is possible, I tell you, but it doesn't happen that way. Secondly, as far as money fees are concerned, I shall tell everybody whatever government charges are not very high. I tell you, if a private if you go to some private company, that will be too much high, because it's very difficult to assess and send a team and assess what are the deficits in your fire or other so many other parts. So let us assume that the fee is not very high. Otherwise, the main challenge is time bound and definite answers. 1, 2, 3. These three are the deficits in, and if you follow this, we will give the clearance. What happens? Usually, they will tell you verbally that you have 3 problems. Then I submit 3. Then he says, no, you have 3 more. This goes on and on, because you cannot fight with the officers. They have the power. So it should be one-time process. So these are the 10 these deficits in your application, and if you give us the application with these 10 deficits fulfilled, we will be able to provide you this certificate. That way it doesn't happen. How many times they have shown the deficits? You should have a statistics for that. And organization will be able to talk on this, not the individual practitioner.
Sir, we already have an advocacy committee. You are part of it. Colonel Deshpande sir, Anil Kulkarni sir, and Dr. Prakash Marathi. So many people are already with us. And through that, we have already, Dr. Lahane had already submitted. This year, I formed this. So we'll be following it up very closely and see to it that our members are benefited to the maximum. Questions? Any more questions, Pooja?
Sir, 1 second. Sir, ते पॉलिसी डॉक्युमेंट जर तुम्ही मला मेल केलं ना, तर मी पाहते, कारण की माझ्याकडे मी 1 year पासून हे पाहते आहे. 1 वर्षापासून माझ्याकडे चार्ज आहे, पण मी हे काही तुमचे डॉक्युमेंट्स पाहिलं नाही सर, माझ्याकडे तरी नाही आलेलं.
ओके.
कारण की पुटअप माझ्याकडूनच होणार ते. तर मला तुम्ही एकदा मेल करा सर माझ्या याच्यावरती. मी तुम्हाला माझे मेल आयडी व्हॉट्सअप करते. त्याच्यावर तुम्ही मला मेल करा सर, मग मी ते डॉक्युमेंट पुटअप करते आणि काय आहे ते पाहते ऍक्च्युली.
कुठलं मॅडम डे केअरचं सांगता तुम्ही?
डे केअर सेंटर आणि ऍडव्होकसी कमिटीचं काही तुम्ही डॉक्युमेंट्स लहान सरांनी आमच्याकडे सबमिट केलं ते माझ्याकडे नाहीये सर.
ओके.
म्हणजे मी तरी पाहिलं नाही सर, मी जॉईन झाल्यापासून.
Dr. Padmaja, she herself is saying, and
मी नाही, माझ्याकडे नाही आलं तर मी पाहिलं नाही, त्याच्यामुळे सांग.
I'm very happy that she's taking herself as an initiative. Good, great.
No, she readily agreed at one phone call ke sir, me yete, don't worry, I will be part of that. I said you are the liaison between the members and the government. Mahatme sir is already part of the government and the ex-Rajya Sabha MP, so he'll also guide us. असं करून हे मी घेतलं, and Deshpande sir is already there for years together. He has got a good idea. So overall, I think this has worked out. Madam, it's so nice of you to be.
One more question. Sir, these can be removed from the ambit of the PCP and DPT Act?
Yeah, madam will ask, sir. I think Jogewar madam first.
No, sir. It is mandate. This can, sir, is registered under PCP and DPT Act, sir. But there is no any problem for the registration of this can.
No, there was a question asked. There was a question asked, not without someone else had asked the question, just a random question. So
yeah.
Not with the problem. just asked individually.
Jogewar madam, nice. सांगणं काय आहे, as a president, I get lot of calls. Why B scan is been included into PCP NDT where it has got no way of detecting the fetal sex. काय त्याचे तथ्य काय आहे मॅडम, ते सांगा ना जरा. बरेच लोक मला फोन करतात, तर काय करायचं?
बी स्कॅन मध्ये डिटेक्ट काही लोक करू शकतात सर, काही ठिकाणी झालेलं आहे म्हणून आपल्याला कंपल्सरी केलेलं आहे ते. त्यात काही नाही सर, जस्ट अप्लिकेशन भरायची आहे सर. त्याच्यामध्ये कंपनीचं ते जे काही त्यांचे डॉक्युमेंट्स लागतात ते सबमिट करायचे आणि तुम्हाला ते रजिस्ट्रेशन मिळतं सर. काही लोक खरंच हर्डल करताय, पण अदरवाईज आम्ही गव्हर्नमेंटमध्ये असलेले पण बी स्कॅन रजिस्टर करतोय सर.
अच्छा,
इव्हन गव्हर्नमेंट
रिपोर्ट द्यावा लागतात ना किती मॅडम? मंथली रिपोर्ट PCP NDT ऍक्ट एकदा लागू झालं.
तुम्ही काही सोनोग्राफी नाही करत ना सर, तुम्ही आईची सोनोग्राफी करता, त्यामुळे तो रिपोर्ट नील असेल तरी चालेल, पण मी तुम्हाला एक्झॅक्ट माहिती घेऊन देणार सर. पण मी त्या दिवशी एका जणांनी मला फोन केला होता की त्यांना रजिस्ट्रेशन मिळत नाहीये म्हणून, तर मी त्यांना सांगितलं की काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही, सीएससी तुम्हाला द्यायचंय, कंपनीचे डॉक्युमेंट तुमचे डॉक्युमेंट्स हे द्यायचे, बिस्कॅन बनवणार आहे. तर त्यांनी ऑब्जेक्शन घेतलं की त्या पीसीपीएनडीच्या ऍक्ट मध्ये ही कंपनी नाही आहे, तसं काही नाही आहे, आय साठी काही हे नाही. तर त्यांना मी एक्सप्लेन करून सांगितलं, इव्हन कलेक्टरांचे मला फोन आला होता. तर सर काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही द्यायला, म्हणजे जर काही डॉक्युमेंट्स कम्प्लीट असेल तर काही प्रॉब्लेम नाहीये.
हा, पण मंथली रिपोर्ट सबमिट करायची पण गरज नाही ना, म्हणजे
नील बहुतेक तो नील सबमिट करायचा, पण तरी मी एकदा तुम्हाला आमच्या डिपार्टमेंट कडून विचारून सांगेन. जो
दॅट इज द हॅसल. वन्स वी डू इट, जसं हे लोक करतात ना सोनोलॉजिस्ट, तसं मंथली रिपोर्ट मागतात हे लोक. म्हणजे आम्ही करतच नाही.
सोनोग्राफी केलीच नाही तर तुमचा रिपोर्ट काय राहणार?
करेक्ट करेक्ट.
सोनोग्राफी तुम्ही केली नाही तर तुम्हाला काही रिपोर्ट द्यायची गरज नाही, पण तरी मी तुम्हाला एक क्लिअर कट सांगते.
हा, कारण की बी स्कॅन तो आपण करतोच आहे ना मॅडम, रेटिनोब्लास्टोमा आहे, बी स्कॅन लागणारच आहे. इव्हन दॅट हॅज टू बी सबमिटेड फॉर द पीसीपीएनडीटी और इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. ती जरा क्लॅरिफिकेशन द्या मॅडम.
येस येस सर, मी पण स्वतःची मी जेव्हा मेओ मध्ये होती तेव्हा मी पण माझी रजिस्टर केली होती सर, डागामधली मशीन. त्याच्यामुळे मला माहिती आहे ह्या हर्डल्स मी पण फेस केलेली आहे सर.
हो हो. Yes, any more questions, Pooja? Otherwise, we'll call it a day. It's a very nice discussion. Exactly. हाँ, बोलो.
I think these were the main questions. Nothing else.
Even we had this question so nice. Each one of you have contributed so nicely. We had a very fruitful discussion. Jogevar madam is ready to help. Any queries, please direct it to me so I can pass it on to madam and see to it that a good solution comes out of it. A good practical solution comes out of it. Dr. Vikas Mahatme, being a very busy surgeon himself and also a politician, member of party, has been top of this show. Thank you very much. Deshpande sir, you already you have been the advisor of MOS and you have readily agreed to become the panelist. Jogevar madam, especially you, because health being a state subject, you also readily agreed to be part of this. Thank you very much.
सर बिफोर सेइंग थँक्यू सर, मी तुम्हाला एक सगळ्यांना आवाहन करते की आपल्या इथे प्रधानमंत्री मोतीबिंदू मुक्त अभियान आपण राबवणार आहे पूर्ण इंडियामध्ये, तसंच आपण महाराष्ट्रातून लॉन्च करणार आहे सर. त्यामुळे आम्हाला सगळ्यांची हेल्प पाहिजे सर. दुसरं की गव्हर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडियानी एक कंपल्सरी केलं की प्रत्येक प्रायव्हेट सर्जननी, एनजीओनी, इव्हन गव्हर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटलमध्ये जे काही कॅटरॅक्ट सर्जरी होतात त्याला mpcb.gov.in या साईटवर सगळ्यांना रजिस्टर करायचं आहे सर. त्यामुळे आमच्या प्रत्येक जिल्ह्यातल्या लोकांनी पण ऑप्थॅल्मिक असोसिएशन जिल्ह्याचे किंवा ऑप्थॅल्मिक सर्जन यांना आपण पत्र पाठवलेली आहे सर डिस्ट्रिक्ट मधल्या यांना की रजिस्टर करा. हा जो आहे सर आपण अभियान राबवणार आहे, अध्यक्ष कलेक्टरांच्या अध्यक्षतेखाली राबवणार आहे सर. केव्हाही आपल्याला चान्स मिळेलच. एनजीओचं याच्यामध्ये खूप योगदान पाहिजे आहे सर. बिकॉज ऑफ द कोविड बॅकलॉग खूप राहिला आहे आपला आणि तो बॅकलॉग कव्हर करण्यासाठी आपल्याला ऑपरेट जास्त करायचे आहे. तर यावर्षी महाराष्ट्राला जवळजवळ 8 लाखचं टार्गेट आहे सर कॅटरॅक्ट करायचं. आणि जे एंट्री झालेले आहे एनपीसीबी VI ते कन्सिडर केल्या जाणार आहे. त्यामुळे मला सगळ्यांची मदत हवी आहे सर. मी बिलकुल ऍज अ ऑप्थॅल्मिक सर्जन सगळ्यांना मदत करायला बिलकुल तयार आहे.
Dr. Jogevar, we have a capacity to operate more, but it's very difficult to survive also. You see how much target was given previously, 150, 200, but we operated 2000 without a single penny paid by state government.
There is no problem.
I think that cataract surgery can be done at zero price. Let the government do it.
No problem, madam. It will not be a big problem.
We are ready to definitely target given was 150, but still we operated 3,000, 4,000. So what I feel, you should also say that at least while giving target, you should increase the target that government will support. In other states, they are giving much more. I tell you, in Pradhan Mantri, they have 4,000 or 4,500 like that. I don't say don't pay us that much also, whatever you are paying, but our target is very less.
Yeah, sir.
Target is 2,000 cataract surgeries, but I performed 3 times more than that.
Sir, you are correct, sir. Last year we are giving just 1,000 target to all NGOs. 70 NGOs are registered in Maharashtra. We give only 1,000 targets, sir, to all NGOs.
So
but this year we are giving more, sir.
But still you ask us a
we have some problem.
Place yourself in our position.
No, sir, I know, sir. I
You can
convince
say
my
that how can they
sir.
operate without money? I don't say increase the money or anything, because I feel that government is poor and government cannot have. Okay, we are ready, but Colonel Deshpande sir is there. He also knows something has to be done. I don't say that pay us fully, but pay us something so that we also feel that more and
Yes, sir.
Last 3-4
our
years, there's
capacity is
been
very high,
something.
but we are not able to utilize the capacity because of the
Sir.
financial challenges.
येस सर, यावेळेला आपण सगळ्यांचे देणार आहे. टार्गेट पण 50,000चं आम्ही वाढवलेलं आहे. पण आपल्याला जर अभियान राबवायचं आहे तर आम्ही 3 लाखचं टार्गेट ठेवलं आहे. गव्हर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज सँक्शन, तर आम्ही 3 लाखचं टार्गेट फक्त एनजीओ साठी ठेवलंय सर. फक्त गव्हर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडियाचं सँक्शन यायचं म्हणून आम्ही डिक्लेअर करत नाही. पण यावेळेला आमचं एमओ पीआयपी पण अजून आला नाही सर. एवढे महिने झाले पण अजून पीआयपी आमचा आला नाही. 5 महिने झालेले आहे. तर पीआयपी आल्यावरती तो टार्गेट देणार. यावेळेला आम्ही 50,000चं टार्गेट ठेवलंय एनजीओ ला सर.
अच्छा, बाकी स्टेट्सला खूप जास्त पेमेंट मिळतं.
येस सर, बाकी स्टेटला 90% एनजीओ काम करतं, 10% स्टेट काम करतं. आपल्याकडे सर म्हणजे अराउंड 35% 40% हे एनजीओ करतं सर. बाकी प्रायव्हेट प्रॅक्टिशनर करतं आणि आपल्या गव्हर्नमेंटमध्ये अगदी 50 to 20% सर. सर आम्ही ऍक्सेप्ट केलेलं आहे. आणि ड्युरिंग कोविड सर आपण लोकांनी खूप मदत केलेली आहे, कारण की गव्हर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल सगळे बंद होते. यावेळेला आम्ही कन्व्हिन्स केलंय सर आमच्या एसीएस सरांना, आणि त्यांना सांगितलं की सर आम्हाला 1 लाखाचं टार्गेट पाहिजे, पण त्यांनी आम्हाला 50,000 दिले. तर बिकॉज ऑफ कन्सेंट ऑफ मनी सर, दॅट्स वाय गिव्हिंग द लेस टार्गेट सर.
किती पैसे देतात मॅडम पर कॅटरॅक्ट आता एनजीओ ला?
2,000 सर, 2,000. इव्हन प्रायव्हेट प्रॅक्टिशनरनी पण जर गव्हर्नमेंटची एमओई साईन केला त्या डिस्ट्रिक्टशी, तर त्यांना पण आपण 2,000 रुपये देऊ शकतो सर, फ्री मध्ये करत असेल तर.
Okay, per cataract 2,000 and do release the payment immediately or about 6 months? कधी देता है ते? Because I'll put it across in all the MOS members.
Yeah, sir. Sir, पैसे money should be released within the 2 months, sir, after operations.
Okay,
After
once you
operation,
submit all
1
the
month, sir,
documents.
1 month.
Once you submit all the necessary documents, तर मॅडम मला एक काम करा ना, तुम्ही whatever ते अभियान चालवलंय मला पाठवा. I'll put it across to all the MOS members who are ready to participate. Will directly contact you. That'll be so nice.
सर माझ्याशी करायची नाही, डिस्ट्रिक्ट ज्या कन्सर्न डिस्ट्रिक्टला आहे ना त्यांच्याशीच फक्त त्यांना कॉन्टॅक्ट करायचं आहे. स्टेटवरून आपण एमओयू करत नाही, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवलला करतो सर आपण.
ओके.
तर त्यांना पार्टिसिपेट, कोणीही प्रायव्हेट प्रॅक्टिशनर देखील 2 वर्षाचा त्यांना फक्त अनुभव पाहिजे की ऑप्थॅल्मिक फील्ड मध्ये आहे, तर त्याच्यानंतर ते रजिस्टर करू शकतात. आणि फक्त एमओयू फ्री मध्ये, जर तुम्हाला गव्हर्नमेंट मधून फ्री कॅटरॅक्ट साठी तुम्ही फ्री करता आणि गव्हर्नमेंट कडून काही ग्रांट्स पाहिजे आहे, तर तुम्हाला एमओयू करायचं आहे सर. अदरवाईज काही गरज नाही. इव्हन तुम्ही गव्हर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटलला येऊन ऑपरेट करताय तेव्हा देखील तुम्हाला पैसे मिळतात सर. आणि अदर आय डिसीज मध्ये देखील आहे, जसं एमजीपीजीआय मध्ये तुम्हाला बऱ्यापैकी चांगलं स्कीम आहे. इथल्या याच्यामध्ये पैसे फार कमी आहे सर. एनपीसीबी व्हीआय प्रोग्राम मध्ये जे स्कीम्स आहेत त्याचे पैसे फार कमी आहे सर. 2,000 सर ग्लोकोमा वगैरे साठी 2,000 आहे. चाइल्डहुड ब्लाइंडनेस, रेटिनोपॅथी अँड डायबिटिक रेटिनोपॅथी 2,000 आपल्याला पर केस मिळतं. केराटोप्लास्टी साठी 7,500 आणि रेटिनल सर्जरी, विट्रोरेटिनल सर्जरीसाठी 10,000 मिळतात सर. जर तुम्हाला पार्टिसिपेट करायचं असेल तुम्ही याच्यात करू शकता सर. दुसरं एक होतं की आय बँकिंग मध्ये देखील आपलं आहे, ह्युमन ऑर्गन ट्रान्सप्लांट ऍक्ट अंतर्गत येतं. त्याच्यात देखील आय डोनेशन सेंटर, आय बँक आणि केराटोप्लास्टी असे 3 वेगवेगळे आहे, किंवा तिन्ही एकत्र तुम्ही रन करू शकता. त्यासाठी काय काय मॅन्डेट्स आहेत ते देखील गाईडलाईन्स आहे सर. इव्हन प्रायव्हेटला देखील तुमची आय बँक एस्टॅब्लिश करायची एखाद्या एनजीओला, त्यासाठी देखील स्कीम आहे. किंवा एनजीओ जो कोणी केराटोप्लास्टी सर्जन आहे त्याला रजिस्टर होणं खूप गरजेचं आहे सर, ऑर्गन ट्रान्सप्लांट ऍक्टच्या अंडर. आणि मग त्यांना आम्ही परमिशन देतो. त्यांचे सगळे डॉक्युमेंट्स पाहिजे, एक्सपिरियन्स सर्टिफिकेट, सिस्टर ज्या काही त्यांच्या सोबत आहे, त्यांचं काय ट्रेनिंग झालंय थोडं, कारण की ह्युमन ट्रान्सप्लांट ऍक्टच्या अंतर्गत येतं. त्याच्यामुळे या सगळ्यांचे आपल्याला डॉक्युमेंटेशन लागतं सर. बीएमडब्ल्यू, फायर ऑडिट आणि या सगळ्या गोष्टी मॅन्डेटरी आहे. आणि हॉस्पिटल रजिस्ट्रेशन त्यांच्याकडे पाहिजे. बस या गोष्टी मॅन्डेटरी आहे. सबमिट केल्यावरती सर कम्प्लीट डॉक्युमेंट सबमिट केलं ना सर, तर आमच्याकडून रजिस्ट्रेशन मिळतं. इन केस तुम्हाला आय बँके संबंधी काही असेल तर मला सांगा, मी माझ्या ऑफिस मधनं कोऑर्डिनेट करून तुम्हाला मदत करेन.
डेफिनेटली मॅडम.
Yes.
So nice
Okay.
of you to give us an idea,
Thank
brief
you.
idea about how to go about the NGOs also, and those members who are interested in doing all this. So thanks a ton for
You will,
joining. We'll
you
have a
will
1 minute
won't
short
subscribe the
video.
target, madam. One thing I can assure, you will
Yes,
do
sir.
more than target.
Yes, sir. I know, sir.
No problem.
You have more capacity. I
No
know.
problem.
HV देसाई
But
एकटंच
I
संपून
need.
टाकणार तेवढं टार्गेट मॅडम.
Yes.
सर कडेच
Sir,
एवढं
I am
टार्गेट
mighty.
आराम
सगळे गुरु आहेत सर, माझे सगळे गुरु आहेत.
छान वाटलं.
We
You
hope
people
to
have
make
joined.
more
I think we'll have
discussions
a
on
1
this
minute
topic.
video and then a official Thanksgiving by Dr. Rajesh Joshi. Can we have a quick gallery view shot? Let's have everybody video on. So this is for our posterity and to be uploaded on the MOS website. Yeah, Anmol, quickly you take a gallery view shot, then play a video, and then we have the official Thanksgiving before we say sayonara. Go on. Everybody can have your videos on, please. Yeah, he started it.
Good.
Gallery view shot is done, sir.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, that was really a wonderful webinar and discussion on hospital regulations for individual practitioner. In fact, there was a request from MOS members for having webinar on government regulation for individual practitioner. I applaud the initiative of Dr. Jignesh Taswala sir for arranging this webinar. I hope all the queries have been answered and things are crystal clear. Thank you, Dr. Mahatme sir, for sparing your valuable time and clearing all the doubts and explaining nitty-gritties of the practices. I also thank and take this opportunity to thank Dr. Colonel Madan Deshpande sir, advisor of MOS, Dr. Padmaja Jogewar madam, for their valuable inputs during this discussion. Thank you, Dr. Pooja, for conducting the session so well. I'm also thankful to all those who have joined on virtual platform for today's webinar. Thanks to the INTOD for the technical support. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have you taken the gallery view shot, Anmol? Hello.
This audio is moved.
Sir, taken, already taken.
Okay.